Hello, friends. I hope you're doing really well today. And this topic is one that is very close to everybody who is part of this team, or part of our hearts, is that we understand really clearly, and we want to demonstrate to you today how important not putting off your eating is. And it's I don't hear this topic talked about very much, maybe with different language, but we're going to call it today putting off your eating. And it has physical, mental, and emotional consequences that I bet you that you're experiencing but don't even know you are. So what are some of the ways that we put off eating? Sometimes it's just simply eating by the clock. Sometimes it's I know I'm hungry, but I'm pushing it off. It could be I know I'm hungry, but I keep myself busy. I know I'm hungry, but I'm doing tricks to try to this idea that you can fool your body into not being hungry or needing the calories it needs. We know that's eating disorder delusion on some level. You can kind of force your body signals to go underground with certain behaviors. I'm not going to name these things just because if there's somebody who's still kind of in behaviors, I don't want to influence anything negative here. Um, but yeah, so what harm does that do us physiologically? If you know you need to eat, just practically, if you feel you need to eat and you're not doing it, why would we do this to ourselves? Okay. Some of the reasons I see people do this to themselves are they feel bad about what they ate earlier in the day or yesterday. They're actively trying to manipulate their body size and purposely restrict. For people sometimes who have gotten a little bit further along in their recovery, you start to notice that maybe it's pretty easy to override your hunger signals or you don't even feel them at all. One, because you have such a habit of constantly and chronically restricting that it doesn't, we're not really fully aware of the depth of how damaging it is until you start eating more. And then maybe you have a couple days or a couple weeks where you go back to those old behaviors for some reason. And it feels terrible. I'm like, I can't believe I live like this. I can't believe, I don't know how I even suppressed all this. And then you can look back and say, oh, well, I was really mentally preoccupied with something else, or even the hunger preoccupied me. Um, some of us just, after you gotten to a point where like, I don't want to be purposely restricting. I don't want to push breakfast off till 10 or lunch off till 3 or whatever it is you've been doing. And it's like, I feel like I'm kind of wired up to do it. And that's probably true. You probably live with a lot of either hyperactivation, which is fight or flight, or you've been in a lot of fawning, people pleasing, and free some level or spectrum of dissociation. Or maybe you cycle between both. So you don't really notice that your body is giving you signals, or you mistakenly wait till you're raging hungry and your stomach's growling and all that. That's too long. Most of the time, when we are like gently hungry, or we're like, I would say moderately hungry, and we can like stay at peace and make a food decision, most of the time we're in those places, those are pretty gentle and we're pretty grounded, those places. When we wait past that, is that we've probably been hungry an hour, 2 or 3 hours more gently. And then when we get to the place of hangry or low blood sugar or headaches or mood isn't good, or we feel kind of numb, or like your stomach is eating its own lining, you've been hungry for hours too long and you put it off. Again, whether that's on purpose or because of dysregulation, regardless, it's problematic. Okay. And it's definitely not virtuous, despite what our culture tells us. So what do we do about it? I think first, maybe we start with a decision, like, or well, maybe we'll start with before decision one. Let's do some little bit of groundwork. What would be the function of putting off your food for you? Like, what does having to use a lot of your capacity to stay separate from your body? What is the belief that how it's serving you? Is it to keep hard things at bay? Is it to give you something more painful, maybe equally but differently painful to think about? Is it a punishment because of what you ate yesterday? Is it because you think, yeah, if I'm gonna try to fix what happened yesterday with not eating as much today on purpose? What's the function of that? And then keep going. Well, how come I would do that? Who says that's a solution to any other deeper problems or just life? adversities that I would have, how would treating my body with neglect fits in with it, essentially, whether it's rejection fears or um, something you're nervous about or relational rupture, whatever stressor or adversity it is. Right? So we got to get to the function of it, and is it true? And is there something else that might be less damaging? Okay. So what do we do with that? I think it's making a decision that you don't deserve to be treated this way, regardless of what diet culture's done to you, medical system's done to you, family or peers have done to you, or mentors, teachers, whatever. What regardless of whatever faulty teaching you've ever gotten, um, it's just not a reason, regardless of what has been said or has been done. You don't deserve that. Your body doesn't deserve it. Because number two, um, how we treat ourselves, like deeper in us is listening, our subconscious soul, whatever you want to call it, is saying like, look, here we go again. What I need doesn't matter. What I want doesn't matter. No one asks me. No one listens. No one hears me. Well, just because those are going to be a lot of collapse there. And it's going to remind your body and your nervous system that here we are again, where I'm invisible or I'm too much. And it keeps refeeding those attachment wounds that all diet culture stuff probably stems from. Like how we got to being vulnerable, to being willing to go on a diet, or feeling like emotional eating was the only thing that didn't hurt us. We've got ruptures in our relational system. And we can trace this vulnerability to dieting and binging to that. Okay. So it's just recognizing that how you talk to yourself about food and your actions paves the way for more either connection with yourself and trust in yourself, or more reinforcement that you have to dissociate, that you have to perform, that you have to be something that maybe you're not, just to feel like that you can survive in this world. And I know most of us we've had those experiences of having to do that. However, as an adult, got options now. And there's so much support out there, including the work we do that help people have new, positive, safe enough relational experiences with food. That way you don't feel like that putting off your food is a way to deal with the ruptures inside and the fear and the distrust and pain. That's what it boils down to. So it's bigger than just like, yeah, we know physically this is going to damage people long term, to be either chaotically eating or just in general, even if it's not super low calorie restriction, even if you're just eating less calorically overall, you're going to be not getting in enough overall nutrients. That's damaging to every organ system you have over time. It's a slow burn, essentially. You're not gonna like have like these these kind of issues like this fatigue and the brain fog and all the things that we see people experience just from subtle nutrition imbalances and malnutrition. We see let's say our clients 30 and up. You don't see us as much in the youngers because there's still a little bit of resiliency in our bodies on board. But as we age, we can't really get away with it and still feel vital and alive and all those kind of things. So it does catch up with us. And of course that can be reversed. We can get ourselves back to some relative, I think, health. We can't promise perfect, but these can be improved for sure. So it does impact your body, but it really impacts what you think and feel about yourself, how you talk to yourself with food, and how your behavior really speaks to what's actually inside you. All right. So I hope this video is really helpful. Very important to us. So we feel very passionate about this. Honestly, this video could go on for hours, or not all kinds of tangents, but also I'll keep it there. If you need help planning out how to get your needs met, how to faithfully feed yourself, to work through the barriers of why it feels so hard or why you get frozen or stuck or you can't do it, to really rebuild some interoceptive awareness, some body trust, some joy in feeling like your needs are important and they matter, and the benefits that come with that, reach out to us. We'd be happy to help. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.